Hi everyone, my name is Analyticalplum and welcome back to my channel. This trailer I'm going to be reacting to today. I am so scared, but not in a bad way. I am so excited because A Good Girl's Guide to Murder has finally released their trailer. I have been desperate for this trailer, especially because it's coming out in a couple of weeks. So I was like, where is this goddamn trailer? But now we have it. If you are new to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, this is based off a series of books, and yes, I have read them if you didn't know. And the whole synopsis is that there was a crime that happened a couple of years ago. Everyone assumed that this guy called Sal murdered his girlfriend Andy, but the main character, our girl Pip, she decides that is actually not what happens. And so she goes and investigates it for herself for her EPQ exam thing. I don't really know how would you describe that, coursework? I even did an EPQ and even I still don't know how to describe it. Obviously there is a lot more to it. I probably made it sound so much less exciting. But I suppose if you don't know, you'll end up seeing for yourself. But before I begin, I would love if you would consider subscribing. I do post twice a week, but don't hold me to that. And if you do love my reaction videos and if you're excited for A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, I would love if you would leave a like. It does help me out a ton. And without further ado, let's dive into watching this new trailer. Just a really quick disclaimer. I do like to pause the trailers when I react to them, and I know that is not everyone's cup of tea, but that is just something I like to do so that when I talk about it later on, I don't forget or leave anything out. I'm so scared.
My name's Pip Fitzmoby. For the last few months, I've been investigating the Andy Bell case. Oh, and just so you know, they got the wrong person.
What is it with you in this case?
Okay, first reaction to the accent. I mean, I wouldn't say it's bad. I wouldn't say it's good. I think it's just because if I went into this without knowing that the actor is American, I probably still would raise an eyebrow. And I know in the books there are a few comments about how Pip does have a bit of a posh accent and that she speaks a bit more posh when she's nervous. So, I mean, it fits her character. This was one thing I was a bit nervous about, but I mean, we watched 14 seconds, so I'm not going to give a final judgment. Probably not even at the end of this trailer, probably after we've reacted to the whole series.
The whole world thinks Sal Singh's guilty. It never made sense to me. Interview 1. I just wondered if I could ask you some questions.
Was that meant to be Max? He is kind of what I pictured in my head. By the way, I'm gonna try not to spoil anything. I don't know if some things are spoilerish. I don't know. I'm gonna try and be my best to be a good girl. I do have to say, everything is looking so good. The actor for Sal, everyone's just, oh, I love it.
His younger brother Ravi was the last person to see him alive.
Ravi?
Do I know you?
Ravi? Don't tell me I've been saying his name wrong this whole time. I thought it was Ravi. This always happens. It happened so much with Percy Jackson, and one of the main things I said about it happened with was Jorge from The Maze Runner. I kept calling him George, and then the movie came out and they were like, Jorge, and I'm like, who's Jorge? Where's George? Flippin' hell. One day I'll get name pronunciations right.
No, just taking a walk with muffins.
Why did you think he was innocent?
I knew so. It would have never hurt her.
Sal didn't do it. Who did?
I guess that's what we need to find out.
Well, I can't do it on my own.
They're so cute. That is a wamp calamity party. I was expecting like a shitty little house party where they just have a bit of flashing lights and, you know, just a speaker of someone's phone. You look like a Spotify account. But that's like a proper nightclub. Damn. I mean, if they have the budget for it, why not?
Good girl, Pip. Are you really ready for that?
Any one of them could have killed Andy.
It was 5 years ago. And everyone except for you wants to forget it ever happened.
You think you're this good person? What if you're not? What have you done?
Pip!
is so much I recognise, and I'm trying not to spoil it for the people who haven't read the books, but I'm just, oh. If you didn't know, or if you haven't watched Horrible Histories, that little face that popped up right there, that is Matthew Baton. He was like one of my first crushes when I was little. Do you know what? That's probably who got me into history, if I'm honest. All of my history facts have come from that man. And do you know what? I was absolutely gobsmacked when they announced his casting for this. He's like, my god.
I'm right here. Come and get me.
Oh my god. So that was my reaction to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trailer. I mean, you could probably tell how I feel about that trailer and this series from the amount of times I probably annoyed you all with my squeals. I do have to start by saying I'm not one of those people who are insistent on having the books replicated exactly. Like, hands up to letting studios have their own creative liberties with stuff, because as it always says, it's based off of the book. I know people would absolutely love to see things replicated directly, but to be fair, I think that never usually goes, right? Because people imagine things in a different way, they picture things in a way that not everyone else does. But I think that is the beauty of books. The way that you imagine things will be completely different to the way I imagine things. But to be fair, when I read about people, I just picture a blob, and then I just picture the blobs with personalities. So yeah, I think that's different in a way. Maybe I shouldn't be reading books. But by the looks of it, they have done quite a lot of close inspiration from the books, and I know that the author was directly involved with a lot of the processes of the series. A lot of the times they are producers. I'm not sure if this is the case, to be fair. I haven't looked too much into it, but I know they were involved with the writing process, kind of like Rick with Percy Jackson, and I think they were involved with the casting process as well. And I think they have got everyone absolutely spot on. And talking about casting, so Emma Myers as Pip. My opinions, my final opinions, well, trailer opinions. I love her. I think she suits Pip's character and personality down to a T. And I think watching the trailer go on, I can see that her accent wasn't as it was at the beginning. That's one of the things I said when I watched the little teaser they put out like a couple of weeks ago. There is a bit of a weirdness when it comes to Americans doing English accents, because everyone kind of just assumes that the English accent is royal pronunciation, but they don't realise that all the old royal people are the only ones that talk like that. And again, as I said before, we know from the books that Pip can talk kind of posh. I mean, I kind of relate to that in a bit. I mean, I'm like born and bred in Essex, and I get told that I can sound posh because I don't have the stereotypical Essex accent. I think it all just depends, again, on people's interpretation on how they feel about the accent and like their own experiences. But I don't know, I'm not mad at it, if I'm honest. I think she's done quite a good job. But I was really nervous for it. In terms of the storyline of this series, they haven't explicitly said, well, from my understanding they may have, that anything's been changed, I think, but I've seen a few of the set pictures being taken, and you can see from those set pictures that a few things are a bit twisted. But again, as I said before about the adaptation from books to, you know, on screen, some things are very hard to adapt onto a screen. Like, it can work extremely well in a book. When you try and adapt that to screen, sometimes it just doesn't come across very well. So let's say, I don't know, someone's doing a whole monologue in their head. You can't really hear that on the series because you're not in their head. I mean, unless they do a voiceover, but then sometimes that could come across as a bit weird. That's why I was a bit nervous about A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because a lot of the deterioration of Snow and his brain came from his thought. So he would, like, outwardly, he would do things that would appear to be nice and appear to be kind, but in his brain he would say things to show that he actually had an ulterior motive that stemmed from selfishness. I think I'm still so interested in the actor who's playing Andy, because Andy is such a huge part of this series, and I don't even think I've seen much apart from a few pictures and posters and, you know, what we've just seen. I think that will be kind of intriguing. I don't know why, it just kind of reminds me of Alison from Pretty Little Liars. And I think the last thing that I will mention before I finish this video was, I think we saw Sal's police interview. It's just gonna be so intense. I think that will be it from me today. I do hope you enjoyed my reaction. Please feel free to comment below anything that you've seen that you just wanted to point out to me, or, you know, your opinions about this trailer. I am so excited for this series to come out. I'll definitely react to this on my channel, and I will see all of you in my next video.